when my stepsister died. I thought the nightmare was over, but every night since her funeral, she's been waiting in the corner of my room, watching, smiling, and last night she whispered my name. My mom married Rachel's dad when I was 12, and that's when everything changed. Rachel was my age, but we couldn't have been more different. She had this perfect blonde hair, a room full of expensive stuff, and an attitude that made her seem untouchable. From day one, she hated me. She made it her mission to ruin every moment of my life. She'd mess with my things, spread rumors at school, and even tried to convince my mom that I was stealing from her. But there was something darker about Rachel, something I never told anyone. At night, I'd hear her whispering through the walls, saying things like, "You don't belong here, or I'll make you leave." At first, I thought it was just her being a bully, but it felt wrong, like her voice didn't belong to her. The day Rachel died was supposed to be just another miserable day in our house. We fought about something stupid, whose turn it was to clean the bathroom. She shoved me, and I shoved her back, harder than I meant to. She fell backward, hit her head on the edge of the bathtub, and didn't get up. I remember screaming for help, but it was too late. The paramedic said it was an accident, but her dad blamed me. He wouldn't even look at me at the funeral. I thought that was the worst thing I'd ever feel. But then she came back. The first night, I woke up to the sound of scratching. I thought it was a mouse or something, but when I turned on the light, there was nothing there. Just the sound. Over the next few nights, the scratching got louder. It was coming from inside the walls, near the corner of my room. And then I saw her. She was standing in the corner, just outside the glow of my nightlight. Her blonde hair was wet, dripping down her face. Her eyes were wide, almost bulging, and her mouth stretched into this horrifying grin. But the worst part, the back of her head was caved in, blood still trickling down her neck. She didn't say anything that first night. She just stared at me, smiling. I screamed for my mom, but by the time she came in, Rachel was gone. My mom thought I was having nightmares, but I knew better. Every night after that, she got closer. The second night, she was at the foot of my bed. The third night, I woke up to feel her ice-cold fingers brushing my hair. Last night, she finally spoke. Her voice was guttural, like something scraping against metal. "Do you miss me?" she asked. Before I could scream, she leaned in closer and whispered, "I miss you." I couldn't take it anymore. I begged my mom to let me sleep in her room, but she thought I was just being dramatic. No one believed me, not even Rachel's dad. Then the text started. I got a message from Rachel's number. I hadn't deleted it from my phone. It said, "I'm still here." I dropped my phone, thinking it was some cruel joke, but when I picked it up, there was a photo attached. It was my room, taken from the corner. The text kept coming. "Do you think they'll believe you?" No one believed me. What did that mean? I started piecing things together. Her whispers, her cruelty, her obsession with being perfect. Rachel wasn't just a bully. She was hiding something. Something that got her killed. Desperate for answers, I went through her old journals, which her dad had boxed up in the attic. That's when I found it. An entry written just a week before she died. It said, "He said he'd kill me if I told anyone, but I can't stay quiet anymore. I have to tell her." Her? Was she talking about me? I dug deeper and found a photo stuffed in the back of the journal. It was Rachel, bruised and terrified, with her dad standing behind her, his hand gripping her shoulder. I realized the truth. She wasn't haunting me because I killed her. She was haunting me because I didn't stop him. Last night, I confronted her dad. I showed him the journal, the photo. He turned pale, and for the first time, he looked genuinely afraid. But before I could say anything else, the lights flickered and the temperature in the room dropped. Rachel was there. Her dad started screaming, clawing at his throat like he couldn't breathe. I could see her standing behind him, her smile wider than ever. "He's mine now," she said, her voice echoing in my ears. And then she was gone. Her dad was found dead in the living room the next morning. The official cause? A heart attack. But I know better. Rachel got her revenge. Now, it's just me. I thought it was over, but last night, the scratching started again. This time, it wasn't in the corner of my room. It was coming from under my bed. I don't think Rachel is done with me yet. After Rachel's dad died, I thought things would calm down. I mean, she got her revenge, didn't she? But I underestimated her. Rachel wasn't just angry, she was vengeful. And whatever brought her back wasn't letting her rest. The scratching under my bed didn't stop. It happened every night, growing louder and closer. I was too afraid to look. I slept on the couch downstairs, but the scratching followed me there too. And it wasn't just scratching anymore. One night, while lying on the couch, I felt it, the lightest tug on my blanket. My breath hitched as I stared at the ceiling, too terrified to move. Then, I felt it again, this time stronger. The blanket was being pulled off me. I sat up and screamed, but there was nothing there. My mom ran into the room, her face pale and tired from nights of hearing my panic. She held me as I sobbed, but I could tell she didn't believe me. Not fully. She told me I needed help, maybe therapy. But therapy wouldn't fix this. Therapy couldn't stop Rachel. The next day, I skipped school and went to the library. I needed answers. I searched for anything on spirits, hauntings, unfinished business. Anything that could explain what Rachel wanted from me. That's when I found an old newspaper article that made my blood run cold. It was from 1994, years before I was born. It talked about a woman who lived in the same house as us. She was found dead in the bathroom after a domestic dispute. Her husband claimed it was an accident, but neighbors swore they heard her screaming for hours before it happened. The article mentioned something chilling. Witnesses reported strange occurrences in the home even after the woman's death. Scratching noises, whispers, and sightings of a female figure in the bathroom mirror. Was Rachel's haunting connected to this? Was the house itself cursed? That night, I decided to record everything. If Rachel was going to torment me, I'd at least prove I wasn't crazy. I set up my phone on a tripod, hit record, and laid in bed, forcing myself to stay awake. At first, it was quiet, too quiet. Then, around 3 a.m., the scratching started. It was faint at first, but then it became a loud scrape, 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 like nails dragging across wood. My heart pounded as I clutched the blanket, refusing to look under the bed. And then the phone fell over. It didn't just tip, it flew across the room, smashing against the wall. My lamp flickered and the temperature plummeted. I could see my breath fogging up the air. That's when I heard her. Rachel's voice, but it was warped, like multiple voices speaking at once. "You let him hurt me." "No." I screamed. "I didn't know. I didn't know." The room went silent. For a moment, I thought she was gone, but then I felt a weight on the bed. Something cold pressed against my ankle and yanked. I hit the floor hard, scrambling to get up, but she was there on the other side of the room. Her grin was wider than ever, splitting her face unnaturally. Her head tilted at an impossible angle, and her hollow eyes bore into mine. "You let him hurt me," she said again, her voice echoing in my skull. And then she lunged. I woke up the next morning on the floor, my head pounding. The phone was back on the tripod, recording. My hands trembled as I played back the footage, dreading what I'd see. The video started normal, me lying in bed, the scratching noises growing louder. But then the screen went static, cutting in and out. I could barely make out a shape, Rachel's shape, standing by the bed, watching me. Then, in the middle of the static, she turned to the camera. Her face was inches from the lens. She whispered something I couldn't hear, but her eyes looked directly into mine, like she could see me watching the video. And then the recording stopped. I've tried leaving the house. I begged my mom to move, but Rachel won't let me go. Last week, we stayed in a motel, but she followed me there. I woke up to find the mirror in the bathroom fogged up with one word written on it: guilty. Rachel isn't just a ghost. She's tied to me now. Maybe it's because I was there when she died, or maybe it's because I uncovered the truth about her father. I don't know. All I know is she won't stop until she's done with me. I've tried everything: burning sage, praying, even reaching out to a medium online. Nothing works. The medium told me something chilling though. She said, Rachel isn't alone. There's something else with her. Something that's using her anger to grow stronger. I don't know how much longer I can take this. If you're watching this video, it means I'm still alive for now. But if the scratching stops, if the whispers fade, it won't mean she's gone. It'll mean she's found a new way to reach me. Or worse, she's found you.